Hi guys, hi. My name is Nosi. I'm a South African and I live in England. I thought let me share with you. I'm continuing because this is what is in my mind these days about how we get scammed. I'm a South African and most people go to South Africa. I mean, foreigners. I'm not against foreigners going to South Africa because I'm a foreigner in in another country, and I've always been a foreigner because I'm a traveler and I've studied in other countries. But I would like to share something with you about, again, it's the rationale or the reason why I'm sharing this story is how I've been seeing most women who I can call naive like me when I was still naive, because these things happened to me. I'm thinking of a story that I would like to share before I wake up and be busy with my business today, of how my Zimbabwean lecturer attempted to scam me. So it's not always country specific, it's men specific. Men would be having stories where they say they've been scammed by women, but I'm sharing this because I'm a woman and these are from the horse's mouth. I will tell some other people's stories, like in one of my videos where I told the story of how a pastor raped, a young woman, a minor in his church, and pregnanted him. It's in one of my stories. So this one, the title is How I Was Almost Scammed by My Zimbabwean Lecturer. Again, it's a love scam. Here is how it goes. I'm doing an extra course and I'm working and I'm having a good job. So I'm asked to go and do an extra course somewhere. I'm not mentioning it for safety, but some people know it because Crazy Me sent an email to every student who was in that class. There is this thing that happens to me. I'm too nice. I'm extremely nice to an extent that people think they can take advantage of me. And then when I show them that you cannot take advantage of me, they get shocked. They act like they are my victims, whereas they were trying to victimize me, because the fact that I'm nice doesn't give you permission to abuse me, because when you abuse me, I will act or I will retaliate. So here is how the story goes. So I'm a student there. Was it a year course? Something like that. But because we were working, we would have block weeks and things like that. So it was nice taking a break from work and going to study, and the course was related to my work. So it was helpful. And again, I've said this story in my book Journey because I've shared this story. So and whenever I introduce them, I say, because of black tax, for a long time I was rejecting marriage proposal to an extent that some men even cursed me and said I will never get married, things like that, because they were communicating in the angle of being bitter without understanding my real issue. My real issue was black tax. I had younger siblings, many siblings, and my mother, when I was doing matric, she was attacked by rheumatoid arthritis and couldn't work anymore. And my mother was a domestic worker. So my father stopped working when I was doing grade 4 standard 2. So we depended on my mother doing chores for other people, domestic chores, of which she got hurt in one of the houses in the location. A story for another day. A story which resulted in a lot of things being said instead of people taking responsibility, because they were afraid that they will be told to take responsibility, because after my mother fell, she stayed in hospital for a long time. That was the beginning of her problems and her disabilities. So as soon as I passed matric, I had to be responsible for my siblings, because my mom had 9 children. So black tax was an issue. So here is how the story goes. So that is why I was not so much interested in marriage. But when I reached 30, I realized that everybody around me is starting to get married, even siblings and everybody. And then now I started to be afraid of aging alone, of being alone, because at some point you need someone who's your confidant, your best friend, and someone to spend life and your old age with, because you are no longer a child when you are 30. So all these stories happened after I was 30, because that's when I started to think that maybe I'm ready to get married. So here is the story. And then I would go to school. This guy looked like a nice lecturer, but I didn't look at him that way, like in a way of him being a lover. And then up until one day we attended a conference together, because I worked in the field where he was a lecturer, so we attended a course together. Not a course, a conference together in another big province, which I won't mention, in South Africa. Remember, I was in a strategic post. So I would be in that conference, and the conference was research related. So I guess he got a chance of starting to talk to me there. He was not the only one. I think I came with 2 potential husbands there, and both of them were saying they were Christians. And I remember one of them said, when he was trying to get me to be his girlfriend, he said, when I entered the room, I always brought warmth, and I always brought an attitude which says, this is a nice woman, look at me, warmth, nice, kind, which is really what I am. But still, I'm also sensitive to disrespect, and that, because I'll call you into order, then you won't believe. Because, in 2021, I attended a course with the pastors and reverends, again, because of the job I was in. So I went there as the stakeholder. That was in South Africa again. So as I attended it, again, I got a lot of wrong attention from the pastors. And someone told me this about me. She said, no, see, you have a very nice personality, and people think they can take advantage of you, and you always look like you have money. And sometimes I don't have it, but I just bring warmth and everything, and I dress nice. Going back to the story, I guess in the conference he exchanged numbers with me. Again, that was not harmful, because he's my lecturer and I attend a course in the university where he works. And then we started talking. And then when we started talking, he reminded me of the first day I attended this course. He said, you sat in a certain desk in front, you were wearing a dress this color, and I liked you from that day. And that was impressive, to tell me something that happened maybe 7 months ago, and you tell me that I was wearing this kind of a dress, and this is what the question that I asked in class, and this is where I sat. It was impressive, us as women, guys, we like you to even notice the change in our hairstyles. So what happened was that, and he pretended to be a Christian. He still pretends to be a Christian. I hear that he's saying he's a reverend or a pastor. So to cut the story short, we started talking, and again, I wasn't trusting him, and he kept on using the word that I didn't know. When he was begging me to have a relationship with him, he would say, don't fret, don't fret. And he would convince me, don't fret, The guy could talk. He was Zimbabwean, but he was working as a lecturer in South Africa. And I ended up agreeing. And then I think that was in July, and in September I was going to go to school again. So we were talking from July until September. So usually when I go to school, I would stay in a hotel that was paid by my work and then attend the school. So because it was also going to be my birthday, I was hoping to see him again, just to get to know him, to go out for lunch or for dinner and to get to know him. I'm telling you, he knew the time I was landing. He knew the time I would be in the hotel, but his phone was off. That was Sunday. Then Monday I went to school and I was expecting that we would talk. But we didn't talk much. And that was a bit strange because his behavior in person was different from the behavior all these months from the time we met to after the conference. Fine, that was strange and a red flag. And after school, I got into the car and I went straight to the hotel. Then I decided to have a date with a former friend because I used to work in this province. In fact, I was on internship in this province for 3 years as a researcher. So I went to a friend. The friend now was doing PhD and was also working part-time in this university. So when I saw her, I told her the story. I said, I don't know if you know so and so, and this is what is happening and what has happened. She was a Christian friend and she was from Kenya, this woman. And then I tell her everything, and then I remember our date was in something like a playland, and we rode something that made us to be these things that made you move on the sky like a wheel. You sit together. We also have it in Cape Town waterfront, so we were riding that wheel, having a snack. And when I told her everything, she said, "No, my dear, con artist." That is how she talked, con artist. That man came here in South Africa and married, but in Zim, he left a wife. But later, when the wife joined, he divorced the wife, but now he's having children with the woman he met in South Africa. So you are the next target in his game of playing and scamming women. Oh, there's something that I'm forgetting. There was a job that I was supposed to do with him in another university. Remember, we're in the same field, but he's a lecturer and something like that. While we were busy doing that, remember, he's a smooth talker. He borrowed some money. And I did lend him the money. So while I hear all these things, he's also having my money. And he said he was going to pay me as soon as he got paid. Now, to cut the story short, my friend told me about him, and I'm one person who hates to be taken for a ride. Diluhlanya. While nice kangaka, akhona amaqhosha, there are buttons that when you touch uzondibona. Iba ngathi ayindim lo bucimba ungam-abuser kube nice. And once I'm in that mood, andoyiki into, I fear nothing. There's a side of me that is fearless. And I always suppress it and try to act like ndingumntu ongumama ndiyafierisha. Okay, to cut the story short, this is what happened. When I hear this, I got angry. And then I watched him. So, no. On Tuesday, I went to school. Again, it was, hi, this guy is not talking, he's not saying anything, he's giving me a cold shoulder. Remember, I stopped calling him on Sunday because he knew I was there, and I thought we were supposed to meet and talk for the first time now as people who are dating, because this man has been pursuing me. He knows everything about me, what I was wearing the first day I came. Oh my God, asifundi. I wonder, but she's one. To cut the story short, up until Friday, and I no longer cared once I heard, but I was waiting for him to come and talk to me so that I tell him everything that I heard about him. He did not come for day 5. The man who's been pursuing me for months and everything. Only to find out he didn't have a chance because there's another woman with children in the house. So he's trying to push that other woman using me. I went back to my province and I knew that I'm going to get back to him. What I did was I wrote an email and I CC'd all my classmates. I tagged them in the email and I told them what he said to me from day one, and this and this and this and this, what I heard about him, and this 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 and this. Then after that, I sent him an email. Now, by that time, I was hearing that he was getting a job again where I work, but in a big office. So when I heard that, I sent him an email and I said, I give you 30 days to pay my money, and if you don't pay my money, I'm going to send a sheriff to your boss, who's my big boss. In fact, he's not a direct boss because South Africa, there are provinces, so he's not really my boss, but again, he's big in that province, that I will send a sheriff there with summons for you to pay my money. And then nothing was said. Then we met in another university. We didn't talk much. After he saw the email, we didn't talk much. That guy was a devil and a pretender. Then we were asked for lunch by the professor in that university because we were the guests together that week. And still this guy wouldn't talk to me, but would try and drag me because he read the email, but he doesn't have a chance. Up until the last day we are in that university, then he asked to talk to me. He said, there's an email that you sent about me to all your classmates, and why? And I said, you came to my space, you came to my life, and you started all that nonsense. So that was the way I was finishing it. Guys, that is how it ended. But because he was scared, he paid my money because I was going to send it to the new boss, whom I knew very well. So September, I had to go back to class and everybody saw the email. And I came late to class. I don't know who started, but everybody stood up and clapped for me. I got so shy, and everybody clapped for me. And it was started by a man. I remember him, and in the province where he worked. If you're listening to this, you remember. That gave me the power of the woman. The whole class stood up and clapped and clapped and clapped. I said, yeah, I got you. I got you. And that's the end of the story. He paid my money. I made him pay my money. So because people come in the name of love, whereas they want to steal from us. Up until today, I don't know if he was interested in getting my money and not pay it, or he was really interested in me, or he just wanted to scam me, or he wanted to also treat me bad like he's been treating women. I don't care. What I noticed was that in some of the meetings we had together, he would try to drag me, and some people noticed that. He would try to drag me down, but some people noticed that, and when I took a podium, I would sort him. So that's the end of the story. And guys, take care of your hard-earned money. Ask questions about people, and sometimes don't borrow him money. Let him sign something down, a contract, so that you can take him to small claims court so that he pays back your money. I hope you learn from these videos. Take care of yourself. Please like, share, and comment. I love you. Bye.